Good evening, good evening. We should be good to go. It looks like everything is good on my side. Let me just get the sound a little farther away. Everything else looks good. Today has been a glitch-filled fiasco. Wasn't the topic of the video. It wasn't supposed to be, but just before I actually got on, got this all set up, I was actually emailing eBay another issue related to offers to watchers. I know that's been happening in England. I've seen posts actually on eBay itself talking about that. I've been personally contacted. I've been shown screenshots and all kinds of stuff. Now, before we get into who's here, who's not here, let's go over everything that happened to us just today. This is all glitches that happened just today. First, I'm going to print labels. I'll go through them. I did screenshots, too, of almost every one of these, too, or video, just because I'm getting so sick of this. It wouldn't combine shipping. So I do bulk. Bulk's the easiest. I can combine 50, 60, whatever orders I want. So I'm doing bulk. Won't combine orders. And then it had some tax glitch on the combined orders. So I removed the orders from there, and I went ahead and bulk shipped the rest of everything I had going on. I had a whole big list of stuff to mail out from the store I share with everybody. And then, so now I got the regular stuff out. I've still got the two gentlemen's, there were two gum cards. They're still sitting over here. I didn't even get them out. They would have went out today if it wasn't for eBay stuff. So I'm going to cancel them. It won't let me cancel his orders, so I can relist them. Well, I don't have to relist them. I just have to change the quantity, but it won't let me do anything with them. So, which was just ridiculous. I don't know how long that took, but I had to keep trying and keep trying. The results that kept coming up were something different each time. So that was just a fiasco with that. Then, when I finally do cancel them, and I'm going to actually edit the listing to add a quantity back in so that he can buy it again. I'm just going to put the two items in one listing so that they don't have to screw around with the VAT and the taxes and the I don't know if I'm going to combine issue, because sometimes it'll combine those and sometimes lately it hasn't been. So it wouldn't let me edit it to add a quantity to it. It's from one thing to another. We counted like 5 individual issues that cost us like 45 minutes to an hour just today. And, you know, these are true. This is exactly what happened today. Now, here's the last one. Well, the second to the last one, because the last one's the offers to watchers just disappeared all over the place. We're buying supplies for our store. It won't let me pay for them. It wouldn't let me pay for items from somebody else, another seller here on the site. I don't know how many times I tried to pay for it. It kept doing it. Finally, the pay screen came up where I could actually pay it. But instead of saying the options like Google Pay and PayPal and everything, it just had the 4 little dots and nothing else. I mean, it would show the total, but you couldn't see which one was which. Obviously, it's the second one from the bottom because I've done it so many times. But I had to peck around, and then finally it went through after that. That's just today, and I'm not counting the fact that it's not you, it's us came up I don't know how many times today. Let's see what else. I wrote a whole bunch down here. Bid and pay. I got a few other ones that were brought up from the last video that I did on the glitches. It's not you, it's us. I want to talk a little bit about all the other issues that have been brought up. The zero shipping charge, where your listings automatically somehow disappeared from charge shipping to free shipping. That's happened to us. It's 100% something eBay is doing, because I didn't even have a shipping policy set up for it. eBay set that up in my business policies. 100%. I've got images and video prior to it happening, and then you can see it's automatically there out of nowhere. So that's something that eBay has been doing. I also have screenshots from other folks of conversations with eBay people where eBay has stated in a couple of these messages that they changed it to that for that seller to 0 because they figured they would want it to sell quicker, and they were trying to help them. That's literally what the comment said in a screenshot. Another one alluded to basically the same thing. Now, I had a big issue with it. eBay denied that they did it, but I set up my business policies. I've had the same ones since they've existed. I never have, nor would I have set up a huge section to dump a whole bunch of listings into for free shipping. So it's happening. I don't care what eBay says. There's no way I created that, nor anybody else here. So, and I've had dozens and dozens of people say the same thing. The other one is where items vanish out of your inventory. Now, I did the video. You can see live video numbers, my totals going all over the place. I've had people say, well, that's just because of relists. There weren't any relists at that time. You can check the time frame on your listings as to when they relisted. There weren't any going on at that point. So that's not it. And then I've had other people suggest, and I think some of the people making these comments are actually from eBay trying to sway the conversation, because we know they look at this junk. They just don't do anything about it. But then I've had other people say, well, when you send out an offer or something, or have an offer pending, it doesn't show up in your active listings. That's not true either, because you can sell anything at any point until it actually sells. So even if there's an offer pending, it doesn't matter, because if that were the case, then when you're sending out multiple offers of to different people on the same item, only one person will get a chance to do anything with it. And again, we've sold items while there was offers pending to somebody else quite often. So it's happening. There's no other thing. Now, with the items disappearing from your inventory, when that happened, we're at least missing a few for sure. I count 6 by the numbers. I have no idea what 6 were missing or lost when my numbers were bouncing all over the place. They weren't sold items. They weren't anything else like that. Because of issues of us missing inventory, I track that every day in the morning and in the afternoon. We write down how many lists. Anybody lists something, it gets written down on a piece of paper. We verify the counts and we add it to our store inventory. And if those numbers don't match from what's sold and what's active in our store, we're missing listings. So we've been doing this for a while, because this issue has been brought up 2 years ago at least. And I know for a fact it's been brought up because I brought it up to a high-ranking person at eBay personally through their LinkedIn account. So that's they don't care. They don't care, or they don't know how to run their own business. Again, I would rather talk about collectibles and antiques, but when an hour of my day is dealing with just part of the crap, just the few I said in the beginning, and then I still have the "it's not you, it's us" after we've loaded photos in the listings, and it won't list them. We have to do it all over again, or bop back to the one you just try to list. You can go back, and sometimes they're still there, and you can save them at least part of the information. But it's really getting old. It is getting old, and the biggest thing I see a lot of people saying is it's not fun anymore. And when something doesn't become fun, it loses the fun and enjoyment out of doing it. You're not going to want to do it much anymore. A lot of people are coming to the same conclusion, unfortunately. My numbers will drop when you can't send out offers to watchers, when you can't receive them, when people can't pay for your items. Now, I know this may sound contradictory, but this has been our best month ever in sales and in profit margins. But my worry is, I don't know how much better it would have been. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I got kicked. Hang on just a second here. I totally lost where I was at for a second there. Glitches. I'm totally lost. It's been a long day of messing with this. We probably lost an hour and a half of all of our time. No one could do anything while some of these were going on. Like with the video showing the live issues happening with our inventory totals going all over the place for like 30, 40 minutes. Nobody could do anything, because I can't if I list something during that time, and I am missing listings right when that happens. So I'm 6 listings I can't count for. No, it's not a lot, but if that happens every time, once a day, once a month, over a couple of years, you're missing hundreds of listings that aren't there. It gets to be a totally unattainable issue for them to keep doing this to the people who they rely on to pay their bills, basically. More and more of their revenue is coming from us and not from people buying stuff. It's coming from fees, adding on the advertising BS and all that kind of stuff. So it's beyond getting old. Again, I've given a number. If our revenue from eBay gets down to 25%, we're probably just going to end all of our listings on eBay and not mess with eBay anymore. It's below 40% now. It used to be 100%. It's a profitability. If I'm going to spend 95% of my time with issues and stuff like that, but yet I'm only getting 25% of my revenue from that site, it gets to be where I could invest 80% of that time anywhere else and only have to sink in, the other 15 or so percent to maintain inventory on another site. These issues never happen on, and I always know my numbers on Amazon no matter what. I always know them on Etsy. I always know them everywhere else. I've never had a list or an issue on Amazon where I couldn't put a listing up, where it timed out. Never. I've never had one. I could say the exact same thing for Etsy or any other platform I've been on. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I don't know how else to say it, but it doesn't happen anywhere else. It's always eBay. It's always eBay, 100% of the time. 90% of my grief, 95% of my grief, most days, if I'm having any kind of issues going on, it's going to be eBay. And they're a minority of where our revenue comes from. How can that be? I mean, unless they're that incompetent. The guy running it needs to go. I mean, it's a glitch after glitch after glitch. Now, I had people bring up that they've got programs in the Expressionist program where they talk to sellers and they help them and do this. I've been in that program for years. It's just basically surveys about if people would accept them doing this change and what their feelings were on it. And they're usually steered questions where the answer isn't going to be a negative one. You've got like 3 or 4 choices, and none of them might be any good. But you have to choose one to go on with the survey. So they're all skewed, whether it's eBay doing them or the company. But that's the Expressions program, which, again, I have been a member for God knows. I haven't done any more surveys anymore for them because they don't pay any attention to them. Nobody that I know who is in Expressions, and I heard it's like 5,000 people that are in there. I don't know if it's that small of a number or not. I've been in it for a long time. They just send you some emails, some surveys, and questionnaires and things like that. That's all it is. And anytime I've ever done anything on it, giving them the honest opinion, as well as a few others that I know who have been in it for a long time, it's always, we're telling them, hey, do this or whatever, and nothing ever changes. So the guy running it's got what he wants, and, none of this other stuff matters, apparently. Again, I had another topic at hand for today. But I was so frustrated all day over this. I mean, I got a list, and I'm not going to hold it up, but I got a list of like every contact at eBay, including the CEOs, all their information, who I can contact, every department. Somebody sent this to me. I mean, it's got everything in here, every spot. I've got most of them, but it's got a few that I didn't have too. I literally put together a sheet of all contacts at eBay. I'm not going to give out any. I don't want to get in trouble for giving out CEO's name or information. Well, I'm sure everybody knows his name, but some of their other personal stuff. But it's old. It's done with. I know everybody says, well, complain to eBay. You do that 90% of the time when I complain about one of these issues with eBay, it's blamed on me. And I hear that from I don't know how many. It's again, that's getting old. Everybody's saying, first thing eBay always does when you call customer service is blame you for whatever the issue is. You must have done this. You must have done that. The only way that could happen is if you did it. I didn't, in my sleep, create a whole new category or a whole new business policy for free shipping. It wasn't even named like any of my structure. Every one of mine's named individually, personally, so I know which one's which. This was a created one by eBay. Specifically by eBay. No one else created it, and I've got proof that they said it to people that it was done on purpose. Again, there's some issues with the app doing similar things, so I personally don't use the app to list or do anything really. About the only thing I do is research prices, or I may quickly add a photo to a listing because it might be a hair easier to use the phone/camera to do that. So I'm not a phone person, but I do it for a few things. There's some other issues too. I could go on a list because it's gotten to be a little insane. One more big one here is the items that you've sold mysteriously showing back up as an active item with active inventory. Again, I've heard eBay blame many people for that. You must have accidentally relisted it. You must have accidentally done this. You must have accidentally done that. That's always the first. It's not, hey, maybe we did something wrong, or, hey, let me at least check into that, see if there's any reporting. The first thing they say is, you must have done something. I don't know how many times I've heard that, even when it's on their own message board that this is an issue. Even then, I've had to say, hey, no, I didn't do anything. Look at your own message board. I've had to tell the help desk, hey, look at your message board. And let's talk about complaining or even talking to eBay anymore these days. We're supposed to have a customer service where I can call with Anchor Store. I don't see it anymore. I never can get through anymore at all. Facebook used to be a decent option, eBay for business, but now if you notice when you go ahead and try and send something in, it says don't send any personal information because it's a third-party app. It's flagged from Facebook. But eBay requires you to give them personal information, and Facebook's telling you don't give them information. So the relationship between Facebook and eBay is either one, eBay is just lying and they instigated this, for all we know, again, opinions, or Facebook doesn't care about eBay, or they've got some fight or something going on, and or they don't know what either one's doing, and they're totally each doing different things. But now I'm not so comfortable complaining or saying anything on Facebook. Who knows why that warning's there unless somebody's been getting personal contact information through the lack security of my personal opinion of what I see on Facebook. I've seen pages goated and all kinds of things. I've seen pages taken over. So it's relatively easy. And if you look, you can find easy directions on how to do stuff like that. You don't even need to do anything. You can just download an app to do some of that stuff now off of some places you probably wouldn't want to be seen on, but point of the matter is, eBay doesn't answer the phones. We're supposed to have customer support as an anchor store. I don't have it, so how are we going to get our problems solved? And they say they'll call you back. In all these years of being on eBay, I don't think the only time they've called me, now this is true, the only time eBay's ever called me back was when they were telling me that I had a bunch of item specifics that needed to be filled in. And then later on, after that was the case, then they would call and tell me, hey, we've got some recommended ones we feel, and trying to tell me. And of course, I don't answer. It goes to voicemail. And then when they were trying to sell me services before, or something along that line, those are the only times. Oh, and then they complained once before, too. They called to complain about a video. And then one of the high-ranking execs, too, called to explain and wanted to chat with me about some of the videos on a couple occasions, too. Those are the only phone calls I've ever gotten back from eBay that I can think of in modern-day times ever from eBay. I can't think of a single time where they called back, even where they've emailed me back to respond to issues. I'm the one who always has to go back and recheck on every issue that I do. I was thinking they were getting better because of Facebook, but with the warnings on Facebook and the total collapse of phone service at eBay, it's almost going to a lost cause situation with them. It's just a matter of time if this is how it is. And I see the surveys, Ina at E-Commerce Bytes, awesome site as everybody should know, but there's a thing on there about eBay employees giving them top-level surveys. Who put the survey in? I mean, just because they're supposedly eBay employees, I'd like to know which employees put those in and the whole works. Either that or they treat their employees nice and we're just treated like crap. I don't know. You take it from that. But again, opinions, but based on factual, visual things I've seen personally and was lucky enough to get screenshots and some video of. So it's old. It's ridiculous. In this modern time that eBay can't get their site running, but even the smaller sites. HIP. Now, I know HIP had some sync problems with eBay, again, related to the API. It has to do with the API. It doesn't necessarily have to do with eBay anymore, but it started because of eBay changing everything. HIP, I've never had an issue on. Etsy, never. Amazon, never. Bonanza, though no sales, never. Walmart, never. Wherever else, we tried Poshmark, never had any issues. I just didn't like the setup, but I never have the issues anywhere else. I'm on smaller sites too. At Dell Camps, never have any issues on there. Some of the sci-fi, the collector sites, the art sites that we do sell some on as well, never have any issues there. YouTube, I don't have any issues on YouTube. Rarely is a number off or anything, and you get a notice, and it's a site-wide fix and everything's done. I never worry about it anymore because I've never had it where my numbers or totals didn't match at the end of the month. Everywhere else, it's fine. It's just always eBay. I've had some people tell me in the past, too, that eBay just keeps patching over the original code from when they started. I don't know if that's true. I've been told that by several people, including somebody who did IT work or claimed to do IT work at eBay. I've also had some third-party people who told me that as well, too, who set up third-party APIs. We've looked into some APIs personally to have some written for some specific things to try and put some pages together and simplify our processes here. again, everybody tells me the same thing. If that's the case, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, it's just a matter of time before some technology changes where eBay's setup won't work quite right. Well, it's not working right now anyway, but when I can't pay for something I'm trying to buy myself, Lord knows how much money we are losing because of these glitches. And I don't care if we have record sales right now, I'm losing money. There's no way on earth I'm not losing money. If I'm record sales, I'm still losing money. It doesn't matter that I'm record sales. The point is that I'm losing money. How many of these issues that have been going on for a year or two have cost me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for the last year or two, and there's no way for us to know what's going on or how much of that we're possibly missing. But when I can't pay for something, and I hear people telling me that all the time, or I can't send out offers to watchers, I've heard that it was in England for 3 and 4 days on the message boards, on Reddits and the whole works. How much money are those people losing? It's going to come down to my revenue keeps going down on eBay, even record or not. Other venues are picking up because I don't have those issues, and I can easily get stuff up there. And even I may get a little less sales, but I got more time to spend doing other things instead of wasting them dealing with eBay all the time. It's a business issue. They should be able to fix this. They've got enough money. They shouldn't have bought back $5 billion in stock until they figured out how to fix the glitches. And I hear, we don't know anything about it, so they don't even tell the help desk. Oh, geez, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. I know I'm ranting, but it's an issue that affects all of our pocketbooks. This is a business. We're here to make money. eBay would complain if somebody was holding their money or stopping. Again, they did complain about Google, from what I remember, too. They would be having an issue if people weren't showing Google doesn't show their listings or anything. They're showing somebody else's because of a glitch. That would be an issue. We can't sue them. There's no chance in a class action lawsuit for those who aren't aware. There's been some people who've tried. None of them have went through. People hit me up. I've had lawyers contact me even as well. I'm not interested in that game. I'm not going to... I just want it fixed. I like the platform. I like buying stuff as much with the collectibles that we collect and stuff like that. So it gets to be old. One other one that drives me nuts, and I'm sure somebody else is going to have had the same issue. When I get offers in, when they do come in, when they're not totally disappearing for a whole day, sometimes I'll click them off, and they'll show up 50 more times. They won't go away, the notices. And what I also hate is that they've went ahead. When I get more than one offer, they just combine them into one, so I can't look at each one and just click the ones I want or even see what I have there. It just gives you a lump sum that takes you to a outdated page with just offers that looks very generic and looks like it's from 10 years ago, the page. It doesn't look very well laid out. It's just terrible. I don't mind doing it from the notifications, but you can't do it that way anymore at all. For whatever reason, they removed the feature that allowed you to do that. So you got to go, from my point of view, you've got to go in the hub and back into the listing page, multiple clicks, and then you've got to click the button that says offers and hope that it'll actually allow you to click in and accept them, because I've had that happen too, where I ended up going in a circle trying to accept one. That wasn't today, that was yesterday, but it kept going in a circle. I couldn't accept it. I'd click, yes, you've got one. It wouldn't allow me to do anything, so then I'd click to the left because I had other offers that were sent or received from the same item, and it wouldn't even allow me to go through it that way. But anyway, it's just one fiasco after another. Let's pop in, see who's in the house here. Already Mike. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? Those in Patreon, I know I saw some Patreons in here. There's 2 videos up, one yesterday and one the day before. The big $1,400 purchase that we're going from start to finish on. I did post an update because I had a whole bunch of questions, more so on that item, that lot there, processes and stuff than anything else. So that was up yesterday, and then, or was that up the day before? I may be mixed up on which one went up on which day, but I had 2. They're out of order. The numbers on the videos, I think one's 241 and 242 came out before 241. It's because I pushed the other one out to answer everybody's questions. So Patreon, pay attention to that one there. I did answer and respond to everybody. I had a whole bunch of emails, including some on that same lot and some strategies. I responded to everybody. There are some more questions I've put back out for the items on the community tab for those who needed some identification and pricing on those. I think one of them was size on a item or dimensions, something along that line on that one there. Tomorrow I'll have probably cover the topic I planned on covering tonight, and we'll go from there. I've got some other things coming up here that we'll be doing. Let's bring up another question, because I got a lot of people on the $1 or $2 profit items. A lot of people saying it's a good thing to list it to drum up business in your store and things like that. If you've got good items, it doesn't matter if the profit margin is $2 or $10. You're going to get traffic. If you're doing a profit item of $1 to $2, it's a flooded category almost every single time. And then I've had comments, and again, I'm not trying to disparage anybody or anything else like that, but I've played this game for, going on 30 years now. I talk to a lot of other people who've been around for a very long time, and I trust their judgment. I see them face to face. I believe them. I know them. I deal with them. I swap with them. It's all the same. Everybody answers the same thing. It comes down to productivity. Even if you sell a few of them, you're still only making $1 or $2 off of each. You've got your time invested. No one seems to get the time aspect of it, that's huge. That's like the biggest aspect of it, is your time invested into those items. That's where you're wasting it all. And then I hear people, it's a draw to your store and it gets business into your store. If you're selling one-offs, you're not selling similar items in the exact same niche and same category, there's no reason someone's going to be going just to buy yours and then, oh, wow, look at all that other stuff. If they're not related, they're not a collector, it's not something related to the items that you have for $1 or $2. And then even if you've got a bunch of them, let's say you sell 10 to the same person, that's 10 whole dollars. The time it took you to take 10 photos, more like 20 or 30 photos for those 10 items, what outweighs the fact you just dump them into a lot, you'll do far, 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 far better. Lots always sell better of those items. You'll probably even possibly get more money than that $1 or $2, even if it's $2.50, $2.75, $3 per item, when you bulk lot, say, $20, $2 profit items. That's going to drum you up better business than lowball items. All what's going to happen is people are going to come in and buy those cheap items, and that's it. You're going to be a dollar store. Dollar General or something is almost the case. The reason none that I know of, no retail or anything in this country, has a bunch of those low profit items in there is because it's not practical. It's not efficient. It's not, your productivity is way down with those items. If you would invest the time into lots like the $1 or $2 items and put a lot together, run it as an auction, drum up some business that way. At least you're going to get some proper dollars for it, and you're not going to be giving away your time. It's so much, you're going to cut your time down into a tenth. It's going what you're going to take to do $10 or 10 $1 or $2 listings down to just one for a lot of those items. And they sell. Lots always go better for stuff like that, those lowball ones. What people think, again, is the mistake that they're going to buy it and then they're going to turn around and split it up and sell it individually for $1 or $2 each. No one thinks about their time. The time's the biggest factor. I had to manage time for hundreds of people, for regions and stuff. Time's always your biggest expense. It's always where you're going to sink yourself. We did a video, the last week was a live show with 5 special guests in there. I know a couple of them are in here. Everybody had the same. It wasn't pre-planned. It came down to efficiency and productivity for everything. To grow your business, to get more money, to get more this, to get more everything. It always comes down to efficiency and productivity with every company. I don't care who it is. There's not a company in the globe who doesn't track the hours, doesn't track how much labor is going in, doesn't track people's productivity. And I'm not saying, hey, everybody should do this because I say so. I say it because you should track it at least sometimes to know where you're spending your time, your efforts, in investing your personal time into. When you do that, you're going to realize that if you tracked all the time you spent on these $1 or $2 items, you're going to realize that it's way more. If you invest that time into listing a little better items or lotting or whatever else, you'll be able to get more stuff up that's going to sell quicker and for better money. Better money. Even if you sell 10 $1 profit items, your fees are even higher. The 30 cents per actual transaction if they're buying one at a time, that's higher right there. The time. That's the biggest factor. I've cut down everything I can think of in time. We've simplified. We've turned it into an assembly line as best we can. We've tried to eliminate. That's, again, why the glitches are so much of an issue. Lord knows where a lot of people would be if they didn't have to deal with the glitches, with the insipid item specifics that don't seem to change any massive amounts of things. Because I'm not filling them in, any of the recommended. If it's not required, I don't even touch them. I've got 6,000, 7,000 of them. Haven't touched them. And it's not affecting my sales. My sales are fine. But again, who knows after today, because our offers to watchers amount dropped to 0. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 for the entire day, which is, we've never had 1 or 2 for the entire day, especially right after we started a sale. I started a sale less than 24 hours ago. There's no freaking way that mine went down to 0 with the amount of, and 90% of my store is on sale. I know my percentages. I know what happens when I do this. So, either that or they're playing games with us for complaining. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them, in my opinion, after what they did to e-commerce bites, as everybody should know as well, too. So, again, I don't like talking about this. It drives me nuts that I have to waste my time and energy, brain power, dealing with BS like this. That's, again, why people are going to drop off, because they're getting sick of it. It's the glitches, not necessarily even eBay itself. It's the glitches that they can't fix, or they're incompetent, or they're hiring. I don't know what they're. I don't know. It's just insane. It's beyond my nerves on some days when this happens, because I was on a groove until all this stuff started to happen. It set me back so far today, not being able to do things for this time frame, because we're worried that something else is going to happen, or we're going to lose stuff again. We've lost listings. I'm sure of it, 100%. It's down to eBay's dropping them. Oh, and one more thing, back to the video with the listings going up and down all over. That's where they're losing and relisting listings. I almost can guarantee you whatever's going on there has to do with what's happening with those. That would be my opinion. Whether they know it, it's intent, who knows? I've had some folks tell me that it's always their older items that have been up for more than so many months, and they've suggested, again, people have suggested that it's their way of trying to tell you that those items aren't any good and they don't want them on the site. They don't have to display your items. You should know that too. It says that in the user agreement. They don't have to show your items to anybody. Apparently not even to you. So again, these are all things that you have to take into account. Everybody says, why do you keep staying on eBay? eBay's the only resort right now for most of what we sell in this store, the vintage, the collectibles. They know that. It's not always going to be that way. As more and more people get upset, they'll go to other sites. Where more and more vendors go, that's where more and more of the collectors will go. Eventually, it's going to be where it's an hourglass where the people will be falling off of eBay and going somewhere else. That's what I see it if they don't correct the path that they're on right now. I know you'll have other vendors or other YouTubers and stuff telling everything's awesome, everything's green, they're making a fortune. How much are they losing that they could have been making on top of that? Are they talking about that just because they want to play nice with eBay and they want to get views? I'm telling you what I personally see from all the with my own eyes, first-hand accounts of this stuff. It's almost to a depressing point that we're stuck with the worst technically advanced site for reselling out there. It's the worst one. It's the one with the most glitches, the most problems, the most everything, the most changes that constantly, repetitively happen multiple times a year, over and over, and it's always the worst times of the year where your sales are affected. I figure eBay lost us thousands of dollars in October alone. And then before that, Lord knows how much was buried from some of their other practices and unintentional issues and glitches. Again, my opinion, but I can base it on my own numbers when they start and stop. It's very obvious. If I took that probably into a court of law to show this is the day they did this change, this is the day my sales dived off the cliff, this is the next day on the 28th when I fixed and found a way around it, and my sales just went up like that. Again, there's nothing, they're not responsible to pay you a dime. Any of these issues that they have is in their user agreement. It's not their problem. You just have to eat it. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the way it works if you want to use their site. That has no political bearing. That's just a corporation. That's what they're doing. It's their own company. They can do that if they want. We accepted it with the user agreement, but you would think that they would want to help people to sell their items because they make more money out of it. They're wanting to make more money off fees, off the promoted listings and stuff. If you're selling less items, but your revenue is still solid because of all these extra fees, they're making more and more off of us. Processing fees alone added 3% more to their bottom line, 2.9, because of how they dealt with PayPal collecting that money. Anyway, I know that's a rant and a rave and a half. Charles, hey Charles, how are you doing? I will see you in the morning. Won't be live, but we'll see you there, Charles. Hopefully you're doing all well. Hey Dom, great title. Yeah, saying it without saying it, I figured most everybody would instantly know exactly what site we're talking about here. And that was part of the reason why I didn't want to put any name in there. I wasn't worried about eBay going after me because it would all be based on stuff I could back up with screenshots and video. Everything I talked about in here I took screenshots of or video of. Screen capture. So eBay can say what they want, but I can prove what I said. So anyway. Nancy, how you doing, Nancy? Barlight Broker. Yeah, you can't call them, so you can complain through Facebook, but then they're going to ask you for information Facebook tells you not to give them. So, you know, no matter what, who knows? Hey, Joe, how are you doing? Northern Cali, huh? Yeah, I had the door opened here early this morning, but I burnt some fish. I got tied up with something, and I was pan sauteing some fish, and the skin got really dark. So anyway, fire alarm went off this morning. I like cooking, but I got tied up with eBay, and I burnt my fish. So anyway, true story. That's because of eBay. I personally blame it on eBay. I know they didn't do it, but, you know, I was all set to have a fish fillet this morning. Where are we at? Hey, Daryl, Carolina Pixon House. How you doing, Daryl? Hopefully you are doing well. Right below Bob. Hey, Bob. And Charles, I got Diane. How you doing, Diane? Yes, I'm getting glitches all the time also. Page won't load and on and on and on. That's exactly right. People say, well, it's the computer you're using. I've got like 9 laptops, several towers, including one we just put back together. I've got a server. I try them all. I've also tried my phone. We've tried devices. I've called people who work for us in different locations, probably have different connections with a different IP, and the same thing happens. So it's not us. It's not us. And if it was my hardware, software, something might have been out of date, which it's not. I update everything all the time. I've got server apps. I've got all kinds of stuff running. It's always updated, especially like spamming and all that kind of stuff. That's just not the case. It's just not the case. It's eBay, because it doesn't happen on any other site. It's never any other site. Not just reseller sites, but it's nowhere else. No other site whatsoever am I on. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, any site that I deal with, I don't see any of these issues. It's literally the only site on the net that I personally use that has issues this frequently, this often, this many, constantly. It's the only site I use. Only site. And only because of necessity. I would not use eBay if it wasn't for that. You know, sometimes I can do far better on Etsy, believe it or not, on some things. And, you know, I'm starting to realize that, you know, we're shifting stuff around. We invested all my free time for the last 2+ weeks now has been going into Shopify and stuff like that. So that tells you eBay's not going to be my landing pad because they're losing my listings. If it's 6 at a shot, 10 at a shot, who knows how many? We don't know. Can't tell. They'll never tell us either, or they'd never admit to it. Ever, 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 ever. They can't even answer a straight question when you direct it personally to an executive who's supposedly a senior manager at eBay in charge of seller stuff. He wouldn't even respond. He would never get back to me, and he blew me off multiple times on that same thing. Hey, Dom. I got you, Dom. I'm sorry. I'm way off on here. Little Rascal Reseller, how you doing? Hey, Dave, Midwest Picker in the house. Another fellow channel, just like Dom, if I didn't say that. Obviously, most people know who Primetime Treasure Hunter is. Dom, very good friend of the channel. In fact, we're doing another show together coming up real soon. Still this month, actually. In fact, it's not too far away. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Typical Florida winter here. Yeah, today it was... I got up, it was like 8 degrees at like 6:40 this morning when I looked out the door. It was 8 degrees or so this morning. We haven't got any snow, though. Dom was getting snow, and I told him I haven't even seen a snowflake up here. The wind, the lake effect, we're close to the lake, so usually it can sometimes go around us. Both sides of us have massive amounts of snow, honestly. Hey, Junk and Data Girl, how you doing this evening? Good to see you in house as well. Everyday treasure found. Hey, how you doing? Donald says, hey, Donald, how you doing? Again, Patreon, new stuff is up in there. Everything has been answered if you missed it just a few minutes ago. And I'll have another longer breakdown video coming up this weekend. I think the listing, the major sale, the $1,400 video series I got, I think they end, I think, next Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. Next week they end. So I'm going to get it out right away, the second part, kind of the third part of that video. So you'll see the results of what sold, what didn't sell. And I'm going to go over all the philosophy and what we do from there. So on relists and the whole works. Hey, Nicole, how you doing? Nicole Huffman from Southern Oregon. Hey, Carlene, how are you doing? Good to see you in house as well. Jeff Lofts, how are you doing? Loftus, I'm sorry. My vision is not great these days. Barlight brokers, they have one job, they still fail. I would say it's beyond fail. Again, 90% of the time it's working, but if it's always 10%, and I never have even 1% at any of the other sites, an hour of my day, an hour of a 14-hour day was wasted on eBay. Was wasted. Again, I don't spend all 14 hours just on eBay. We've got a lot of other stuff we do, but so 8-10 hour day on eBay, 1 hour of that was gone. An eighth, maybe at most a tenth. 10% of my eBay time was wasted dealing with crap, which is crap. And, there's no sense in, by the time I contact eBay and try to report it, half the time it corrects itself, or I could figure it another way out. It just wasn't worth wasting any more time on. Like when the labels don't ship or won't print or something, or you won't let you ship it because they've intentionally blocked media mail and non-media categories, and they keep saying it's a glitch. It's not. It's intentional. And I say that not just, it's my opinion, but I say it because, again, I brought it up to that same senior manager at eBay, personally, that same issue, and they've never fixed it. It's intentional. They've blocked out, in my opinion, media mail from categories that they say shouldn't be able to send a book from. Like it used to be category. Geez, there's so many categories that there's books in. I don't list books in always the book category. They'll sell better in other categories. That you don't just list them where eBay tells you or suggests, because sometimes the results are terrible. Where are we at? Eric Jones, how are you doing? Honestly, somebody said earlier, you sound like you're in a bad mood. I'm hyped up, yeah. I don't know sugar or anything either. I'm pumped up about this because it's got my blood flowing where I'm getting so sick of this. We're seeking drastically other alternatives. Not because I want to. It would be so much easier if I could just go along with the status quo and just expand a little bit here and there instead of worrying about pulling the stuff and having a home base somewhere else other than eBay. It would be so much easier. It's not easy. It's not fun. It's not what I want to do. They should just fix the damn thing, and they wouldn't be losing this. When you have less people that are on your site, you're going to make less revenue. When other sites are gaining those people, they're going to gain. They're going to grow and make more revenue. And when people see that, hey, they're making decent money over there, more and more people jump ship. It could be a cascading effect, a big earthquake of people rolling off and going somewhere else because of that at some point. They're not going to always be number 3. They used to be number 1. I could see them falling to number 4 if, say, Etsy buys and gobbles up some other things and does some other motivating things. And Macari, however it's pronounced. Again, I haven't looked, and I know people said it's pronounced this way and that way. I haven't used it. I'm not really interested after what's her name? Nurse Flipper, I'm sorry. After I heard her story on it either. So, if somebody's going to hold your money like that, why would I want to mess with that? It's a Japanese company, nothing against Japanese companies, but, it would be hard pressed to seek some legal action even though they have an American entity, because it might all roll back to, out of country policies or something. I don't know. Hey, Darlene, how are you doing? Donald's Discoveries was outsourcing all day. I didn't go out. I went out of the house to grocery shop this morning because I didn't want to have to. I'll never go to Kroger's again in my life, I don't think. We're totally done after being a lifelong Kroger's person. So Myers here actually has the best service that I've seen, and far better produce and everything else than than at Kroger's. But so I just forgot to put an order in. Usually we just place an order. It's free for them to pick your entire order, and then they just bring it out to your car. All you do is click a couple numbers on your phone. They don't even, you just open up your back door and load up your car. I haven't had an order missed or mismatched or anything at Myers. Kroger's, oh my God, I'll never use, as I said. My whole family gave up Kroger's. Kroger's probably is going to lose, I would have to guess, 20 grand or better from us, from just my 3 family groupings that we have here. I mean, it's probably more than that, because we probably spend $1,400 a month on Kroger's, or we did. Anyway. They didn't even respond to the complaints, the 6 different complaints about what happens, and 6 different incidents. But anyway, I know I'm rambling again. I don't get out sourcing as much as I could. Oh, another video coming out. I've got a repair job. We're going to do a full-fledged professional archival quality repair of a really fancy, nice piece of paper here. It's something I've shown in a brief moment on a video. I'm going to repair some things, and we're going to show you the professional, correct, right way to actually repair some things, how the professionals do it. We'll show you library quality, all with archival quality material. I'll show you what to use, how to use it, how to get the material, which isn't that expensive. And then we'll discuss in that same video, it'll be on here, you'll get to see trash to treasure real quickly. A lot of people say, well, repairing this, that, and the other. The repairs that I do are removable, just like an archival one, with the important stuff. I make my own repair paste, wheat paste, and the whole works to do it for most of it, but I do use some other items, which we'll show you. You will sell your stuff for more money, even if it's been repaired for the vintage items, where it's more presentable. People expect some damage to a 200-year-old piece of paper, or something Civil War, Spanish-American War, even World War I, even a letter or something. And the repairs are nearly invisible without looking at them with a loupe. We'll show you step by step. I've had all the tools here, and do I have one sitting here? In fact, I never get off screen, but if I have it here, oh, I don't know what I did with it. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I can't show you something. I was going to show you a pretty neat tool most people probably haven't seen, but I don't know where I put it. Oh, well, I apologize. I got up for nothing, but that's another video coming out in the next couple days. I'm also going to show in another video after that one how to remove labels off of magazines without hurting the magazine or even really touching the magazine itself. Quick, easy, nothing to it. It's a simpleton fix. And I'll show you every step of that. It only takes a few minutes, honestly. There won't be any residue. It won't damage the magazine, any of that kind of stuff. It's a well-known, we shouldn't say well-known. It's from another industry. It's not used for this, but I'm going to show you an out-of-industry thing that you can use to do that. So it's something that I've done in the past for expensive ones. We had a Playboy issue number 2 not too long ago, and it had a label on it. And anyway, we took the label off, and it went for far more, I am sure, without that label on it. So anyway. Junk and Data Girl, well, I hope you're feeling better there. I know how that can be. I hate when I'm sick. I feel weird not doing anything and just kind of laying around in the bed or something like that. Even when I'm sick. In the past, I would go to work, with fevers because I didn't want to let anybody down and all that kind of stuff. But these days, if you're sick, take the time off. That's just my personal feeling. Nothing's too important other than your health. Your health and your family is the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Everything else comes well after all those, in my book. I don't care whether it's your family, your indirect family, if you've got a dog that's your family or an animal, those are your, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whoever you love or cherish or love being around, that's what matters. That's it. Part of the reason why we do this, of course, I think everybody does this for the same reason. It's all freedom. It's all this is. I think most people, including myself, feel like we accomplished something when this goes well, when we're able to live doing this and stuff like that. It gives you a big boost, I guess, a big, gut hit of confidence that, hey, if I can do this, I can get this going. There's nothing that can stop you and when you get that thought going in your head. And, even like eBay, the issues, I'm still going, hammering it. We're still here. I've been up since 6-something this morning, and I'm not planning on quitting until probably 11 or 11:30, but I can quit anytime I want, but I don't want to. I'm driven. I can't. I'm pumped more so to get other stuff going because of these glitches today. And again, I changed my whole layout for today's show because of this. I had something fun and more enjoyable to talk about. I had a couple video clips I was going to show on some things, some little comedy and some levity today I was going to have. And it's frustrating when everything gets shot to hell, pardon me, but that's how I took it. Hopefully you found something too, Donald. Idea pad. That's my old California license plate. I guess it could very well be. I have no clue on that. Those glitches, time killers, destroy productivity. Richard, that is the issue. That is the biggest complaint I have. Again, going back to the last, if you want to see a good conversation, I know the first few minutes we had some echo. Won't ever happen again. I do have timestamps, so you can bop right in instantly to where conversation starts and no echo or anything. But we discussed the same question to everybody there. I gave mine, so you had 6 different opinions from different levels. Everybody was at their own stage of reselling, and I think that's more important than just having everybody who's these bigger sellers and stuff on all the time, because there were some big sellers on there too, don't get me wrong, but it's good to see things from different points of view. I see things mostly through what I have to deal with from a day-to-day basis. So for me, it's enjoyable to hear answers from somebody who's only been doing it for a year or two, or whatever the case may be. It's enjoyable, it's interesting, and it's good to see that everybody comes up with the same, again, efficiency, productivity. That's the key factors in how their business, every one of them, all 6 of us, all random drawn people, everybody had the same reason why their store was growing and what they needed to do to get it to go more. Productivity, efficiency, all of those things, taking off all the wasted time. Again, with a business, any business out in the real world, your expenses are broken down into 3 parts. You've got COGS, cost of goods sold. You've got, say, your overhead, repairs, office. Those are usually one category. So you've got COGS is one category. Your operational costs and stuff, the bills and all that kind of stuff is another one. And then your labor. Those are the 3 driving factors that control what your bottom line is. So a third of your controllables, a third of them is usually your labor. And that could account for half of all the expenses you pay. A third, it's breaking down into thirds, but it could account for half of all of your expenses. It's always labor. If you run any kind of business, it's always labor. And if it's a one-person operation, you're saying, I don't have any labor, you're the labor. You need to control your own time. So if you're spending it on things that are giving you little productivity, it takes the same amount of time to list a $1 item as it does a $10 item, as it does a $100 item, as it does a $1,000 item. The same amount of time to list all of those types of items, from $1 to $1,000 to even $10,000 for the most part. You can almost do all of those exactly in the same amount of time. If I'm going to spend my time, I'm not going to do it doing a $1 item or a $2 item. I don't care what the case is. There's no sense. If I can spend that exact same time listing something that's worth more money, that's what I'm going to do every single time. And even if you're just new and you want to drum up the business, you'll drum it up better with better stuff. You'll drum it up better with stuff that's not in flooded categories. You don't want to be known. You don't want to be known as the guy I can get cheap stuff from. Because once you stop doing the cheap, those people are gone. You'll never see them again. They'll just find the cheap stuff from somewhere else. It's like racing to the bottom. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that. Again, that's a lesson I learned. I figured out I looked at the math. I looked at the numbers. I looked at my labor costs. I looked not just, my personal costs, my personal time invested in it. I can spend 5 minutes making a $1 item or getting $1 out of an item, maybe, or I can spend 5 minutes getting $100 out of an item. And all of your time is factored into there. Your sourcing time is factored into there. If it took you 5 hours to find 10 items, you've got to equate 30 minutes into each one of those 10 items just to get them. That's labor. And if you're spending more time to get certain items than other items, you get the items that take you less time to get. If it's listables, you list the items that take you less time to list. You'll get more up. You'll get more money quicker. It's a no-brainer. There's so many things that I've had sitting here for a year or two because it would take me longer to list. And I don't care if I have all this back stock. It doesn't matter to me. And I pass up stuff all the time while I'm outsourcing because I'm thinking about the time. The time. Maybe I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe it is a decent item and I could make $100, but then I got to think about it might take me hours to find it. I have to clean it. I have to photograph it. It's something big. I'm gonna have to figure out where to store it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to wrap it, how to ship it. And if all those don't make sense while I'm out, I'm not gonna buy it. You know? If I can't find it, through cursory 3 sites I usually use while I'm out, it might be a lot harder and a lot more trouble. I got all kinds of things sitting here that, I thought would be quick sellers in some cases that not necessarily always are, at least on eBay. We did figure out a lot of stuff you can just put somewhere else and they do sell, but let's see here. Ralph Funk, how are you doing? Retired with... Okay, how you doing? With you on the glitches, what is the future going to bring? I'll have my own landing pad, and I've got some connections. I've talked to $1 Million Peddlers. I've brought up stuff with Dom. I've got other plans rolling, I promise you. Don't know where it's going to lead, but you never know. Big things come from small ideas sometimes. So, I'm not going to... at this point in my life, with how things have changed so drastically and, our bearing on life and revenue and all that kind of stuff, nothing is impossible. The idea of having numbers in $250,000 easily in sales, just sales in a year is unheard of to me in the past. I would have never, I worked for places where my area was $11 million. That was for somebody else's money. That wasn't my money, but you just see numbers that can easily get to the million mark. These are realistic numbers. These are really realistic numbers. Making, say, $1 million, selling $1 million is a very realistic number on eBay, believe it or not. And 5 or 10 years ago, I would have laughed at you if I ever heard somebody say that. Somebody who does what I do. But in all honesty, they're doable numbers. They really are doable numbers. I know it takes time. We've been doing this full time 14, 15 years now. I've been on YouTube for 4, so yeah, it's probably 14 or 15 years I've been full time at this. Things have changed recently, and as we get more and more and we learn more, we understand where we have to get more efficient on efficiency and productivity. That's the driving factors now. Efficiency and productivity. Like if you're a one-person operation, you can only get so efficient without saying, hey, if I get somebody else in here to help, hire somebody part-time, I can get even more done. And when you run in the cost factor on it of you spending your time, it's far better for you to hire somebody at 15, even sometimes $20 an hour to get them to work for you, because you're freeing up that time. Your value as the owner of your own reselling company, business, whatever you want to call it, your time is more valuable than anybody else's there, because you do so much more. You're the one who brings in the stuff. You're the one who figures out the value, all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, I know I'm rambling, but my mind's running. I'm racing in my head right now. That's the only reason. I get hyped on these kind of things, and I keep going. I was frustrated in October. We had to change our plans again because of eBay crushing everybody's sales on October 12th until we fixed it on the 28th. We fixed it, not eBay, but... So we already have this plan. We're just now more motivated than ever. Even if I can draw 10% more business to my own site and work at it from there, I can almost guarantee you my regulars, if they figure out I'm there, will probably just buy straight from me. And I got a lot of regulars, a lot. I've never had so many people who are repeat customers in my entire life. And they just keep growing because I don't lose them ever. If they bought a few times from me and they collect any of the items they sell, they're almost assuredly coming back. I try to do top-notch service. Again, that's what everybody needs to do. It's not a brag on me. It's what everybody should do that. Answer quickly. Do good stuff. Do whatever you can do. Offer them helping them. If they don't ask you to combine, do it anyway and send them the refund for the shipping. Keep the 30 cents if you want for the processing fees. There's nothing wrong with that. You just refund them what the extra fees. So if the extra shipping costs, I should say. Keeping the 30 cents is part of the fees that you incurred because of them paying and not waiting for an invoice. So anyway, and I've never had a complaint ever on stuff like that. Should have paid by check. Yeah, I had that on there too. I haven't seen the check option on ours. There's only 4 options on the ones that we buy supplies from, and it's what Google Pay is the first one, the second one from the bottom, or third one down is PayPal. I don't remember what the other ones. I think maybe add a new charge card and one more option, Apple Pay maybe, something like that. I don't mess. I just use PayPal still these days. I'm still a PayPal patronage. I like PayPal. PayPal has done some good things for us in the past. I know people have had issues with them. I know there's some lawsuits of them holding funds and stuff, but I personally have only had them do that once over a button. I used a word in a purchase from somebody, and it was I think it was it Iran or Iraq? But anyway, it was a British button. It was made in England. It had nothing to do with the country of origin. It was made in England. But anyway, they threw a big stink about that. Let's make sure we're running, because it looked like I was freezing up there for a minute. Amazon Seller 99. What's new with Broken Bay? What glitches all day long, as we've said. What else can we say? Wanda, hey Wanda, how you doing? I got kicked out of revising options today, and it took 30 minutes to log back in. Wow. 30 minutes there on another issue from just logging in. Junk and Data Girl, glitch-based struggle is real. Yes, it is, and it's getting worse. I've never seen so many glitches, so many nightmarish scenarios. In probably 75% of them affect the buyer just as much as they affect me. The one from England where I couldn't combine them, and then I couldn't cancel them, then it wouldn't let me edit them. That was for a buyer. He paid for them separately. $9.50 tobacco cards. They're right over there, but $9.50 tobacco cards. He bought 2 of them. He doesn't mind paying one fee. It's $19 now through eBay with VAT to pay for postage. So he was paying $19 to have a $9.50 item sent twice. eBay would not allow me to combine them. Had to remove them from them. eBay wouldn't let me cancel his order. And I offered to cancel it because I said eBay won't let me combine them. Again, eBay from the start, every issue I have is eBay. Everyone on eBay's side is their fault. And again, if I call or say anything, 9 out of 10 times they blame me first and foremost. Every single darn time. And that's getting old too. If I contact Amazon, the first thing is sorry, and let's see what I can do. Let's look into it. Not the first thing out of their mouth saying, hey, it must be you. It's always that. I don't know how many people have told me the exact same thing. It's getting old. Blenderite, how are you doing today? This person's got photos that weren't even there showing up. That one I haven't seen, but I wouldn't doubt it at all. Hey, Marty, Jiminy Flip It In-House, how are you doing? Another fellow YouTuber here. He's got some videos up there. Hopefully he's got some more coming out, Jiminy, Marty. Is this happening through people with eBay store only? I couldn't tell you. The item I was purchasing had no bearing on a store. So I don't know. I would probably say no, not a store. I've had some people say, well, in auctions it doesn't happen. Auctions are a thing of the past for many items. You'll get more money selling them as a bin. That's a fact. It's just a fact. You can look it up even. You can look up the records on that to see. And it's always the way we make more money. Auctions, if there's not enough people online at the time, they won't sell for as much as you think they will. Some items, the truly, truly rare is auction only. And I've got some auctions running myself. But we pretty much only do that to blow items out that we don't care what we get out of them. Just, $5-10, been up forever. Or the value wasn't there. Or, we thought we'd get more. They were worth more. Those kind of things. So we don't have many of those anymore these days. So I don't really blow out anything anymore. But I would say it's happening everywhere. And I don't think auctions or not have any bearing on photos disappearing or your listings being lost or anything like that. If it happens with one listing, I don't see why it wouldn't happen with another. I know the payments across the board, Oh, and 2, people were saying when your items the totals were disappearing, that was just probably what you saw, and it didn't show that on the store side. We looked at it from the store side, and the store side kept changing the amount of items we had in our store at the very same time. And if it was relists as well on those, it wouldn't be frozen at a low number unless they were pending relists for like 20 minutes or something, which wouldn't make any sense either. Again, that's where they're losing them. I almost guarantee you that's where they're losing them. Idea pad. What about glitches when you try to reply to buyer question, then it gives you some random error after you hit the... You can't reply. I cannot reply to messages at all from the hub. I have to go into that exact email that they sent me in my email message section just to reply to somebody. It will not allow me to send emails from my hub. It does not. So when you click on, like you're on your summary page in the hub and it says you have 5 questions, you click on that, it takes you to the page that shows you the 5 items that you have questions on. I can't respond or even see the messages for any of those on that page. It's been that way for probably 4 or 5 months. So I literally, every time I have to go to messages and I have to scroll down to see which one I need to respond to. At least they have a little arrow telling you which ones you've replied to at least. So, but yeah, that's been an issue for months. And I said something to people months ago. I gave up. It's far easier to not spend hours dealing with eBay for something they probably don't even want to fix or care about, and just to go and go a back route and go through messages. It just makes a lot of the hub things like that useless, And the YouTube is glitching for me. It is continually buffering and not playing. You might try your local connection, Bob, on something like that. You also might try clearing your cache in your web browser, history and all that kind of junk out there. Cache especially if it's jamming up. You might even be able to set the if you're on high def, you might want to drop it down to say 480 or whatever it is. Just if it's not playing right. That would be my best recommendation on that. It plays fine on most everybody's that I see. Maybe it might be tied to your IP or your provider even possibly. But I would check your settings and clear out your cache and your web history and browser. Sometimes that can really do a wonder of good, Bob. Stony Creek Pickers, how are you doing? Hey, Michelle. Michelle in the house too. Susan A. Even they put a new buyer payment require buyers to provide a payment method before they make an offer. Yeah, that's been old. They started that randomly with some group of test people like 3 or 4 months ago. I even covered that on there. That is something they announced it well after the fact. So people were seeing it and wondering what the heck's going on because eBay didn't even announce it. They didn't even tell anybody. I think that's bad because when someone needs to combine, it just means they can't. They have to do one at a time. And that means eBay gets 30 cents more when they do that. I think that's just a money grab to get 30 cents every time. I mean, you're going to have to refund it if it's over. Well, that's why you wouldn't want to refund it. It's just going to be a nightmare, in my opinion, if that's what they do, because it won't even allow me to combine orders now. Hey, Craig, Landshark Picker, another channel in the house. Hey, how you doing, Craig? Hopefully you're doing well. Check out Craig as well, too. He's a pretty good guy. He's been in a video of mine. I know I don't do much with a lot of other channels, but it always seems time is a factor there. I'll have to hit him up one of these days again, too. Yeah, hit the thumbs up if you hadn't hit the thumbs up. We got 256 people in house. I got 119 thumbs up at this point. If you're enjoying the conversation, please show some love for us. Yeah, that was another thing. Why are they throwing all this new stuff out there without fixing what's already wrong? Most of what the new stuff is, I would say, is stuff where they can garner some more revenue from. They're more worried about the revenue because it's still coming in. Short-sighted. They're not thinking about the long game again, as always. I think about the long game. So that's why, again, everything we do is based on efficiency, trying to get as much up, trying to expand our reach, fingers all over the place, broaden our footprint across the internet. That's the goal. And eBay's my bottleneck these days. Here's one, Stony Creek Pickers right here. Sold a book 2 weeks ago. It resold 3 days ago. eBay relisted an ended item. Again, if it's sold, it shouldn't do that. But there's something going on. I've heard too many people tell me the same thing. And these are from resellers who've been around for a while. I don't think I've accidentally relisted something that shouldn't have been on my behalf for a decade. You figure that if you make that mistake once or twice on your own, you're not going to do it again. And the way they have it separated, it'd be almost impossible to do unless you did it intentionally. And I don't see anybody, especially like Stony Creek Picker out there, trying to get himself a ding because it was sold twice. It just doesn't happen. You have to go to Site Preferences, Blocked Buyers List. Oh, so they did add it in. I'll have to remember that to see, because no one said a thing, and it's not doing that for me. I combine and tell them not to pay immediately. Yeah, I'm still no watcher. Hang on, I'm actually over here right now. Just curiosity's sake. Because I think that's only selective. That's not a confirmed rollout on that. So they must have picked you specifically, would be my guess. Here's Annie. Hey, Annie, how you doing this evening? So many listings have mysteriously dropped off over the years. I'd love to know what triggers that. It's so hard to detect. Yeah, I'm sure of it. I don't care what eBay says. They're losing listings on these auto relists and stuff. And again, I lost 6. I lost 6 for sure. The numbers before that, where all my totals were going up and down for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I lost 6 listings in that time frame. 6 that I had before that I don't have now. And I don't know what 6 because I've got like 30,000 listings. And people say, well, just look at your ended ones. It doesn't show up in ended. They're gone. They're deleted. They're disappeared. They don't exist at all in your store anywhere. It's like they never existed. And we know they can do that because when they take something down, it's gone. It's gone. You can't even look at it, click at it, or nothing. Can't see it. It's just gone. We know they have that ability. So I'm sure it's something they are doing. Whether it's intentional or not, they are losing people's listings. I want to say they lost 330 or 350 million images, some huge number. Again, I believe that's in that range. And it was from hundreds of millions of resellers' images they lost in June a couple years ago. There's still people on the feed right now that I guarantee you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're killing they're shooting themselves in the foot every time they can. Junking Data Girl. Happened to her too with items that they sold got relisted. Annie's lucky she hasn't had a lot of issues this week. Someone here is on eBay probably 14 hours, or many someone's 14 hours a day, every day of the week. Every day of the week there's someone on eBay, on physically probably on it. Not the same person, but someone or many someone's the same day. And it's constant. Constant. We're on a lot, though, so, I mean, it might not be nearly... You folks, if you're not on as much as us, you might not see it as much as us, but when you do eBay this steady all the time, you see a lot of errors. Glitches. Yeah, Little Rascal Restart. If you kill the Nook, eBay is a good career choice. eBay got the only person they could get, probably, in my opinion. The only person that had any kind of, half-assed experience... Again, he doesn't have experience at this level in the first place. He just wants to turn into Walmart from what I see. Oh, let's see here. Let me pop down a little bit here. I've seen buyers say they were going to just not buy from the seller who had the option turned on. They could not request invoices for combined shipping. Susan A., that's exactly my issue with that whole stupid process. Every single day of the week, at these days, it's been 2 and 3 people buying multiple items from me. Some of them buy up to 10, 15, 20 items at the very same time in the same niche. Again, I can't combine them if they do stuff like that. It just means eBay gets 30 cents extra for each one of those transactions. I guarantee you they'll allow you to combine them to ship, and you'll have to worry about the refunding at the end. You know, it makes no sense. Do we invest in eBay or Amazon stock? I don't invest in either. We invested in eBay before they went public, and we made a lot of money, like enough to buy a couple brand new cars when eBay, because we got it went for, I want to say we got it for like $20 or something. It was really low, and it sold for like 300 and 360 or so. It's been a long time. And then we did similar when PayPal went up too, so we made a lot of money off that, but I don't mess with it anymore. I'm into utilities and things like that more so because it's always money. I'd rather have the slow and steady than the, hey, they might crash. Investing in eBay right now in my book would be risky. Amazon's still probably pretty solid, but I'm not into that. I could have invested years ago, and I probably should have in Amazon, but you live and you learn. I don't care if I'm filthy, stinking rich either, so I wouldn't fit in with those type of people. They'd look down on me no matter what because of me being me. So, I'm not too... Hey, Trina, how are you doing this evening? Good to see you in house as well. Hopefully you are doing well. Again, Patreons, there is 2 videos up, one in each of the last 2 days, I think is what it is. Wanda, I get tired of drafts disappearing or timing out, and those using the zero available also vanishing. The zero quantity, if you're doing zero quantity, they only stay for, I think it's 90 days before they remove them. But I relist our stuff in less time, so I remove them myself. They don't show up as sold because they'll be deleted, but anyway. The timing out is annoying. And people said, why don't you do drafts and stuff on eBay? I'll set up drafts where we did a year or two ago, and they'd disappear after like a month or two. So somebody would come in the morning and they wouldn't be there. So I gave up on the drafts too. That's another one of those glitches where they just trash things. Joe Johnson. Publish it, please. Not sure what you're wanting to publish. Hey, Kathy, how are you doing this evening? Brisbane, another Australia. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well, Kathy. Hopefully you're back on the path and getting what you want going on. Sold my eBay stock last year. It's a sinking ship. Yeah. See, if eBay wasn't so poorly run, I probably would have invested years ago. But with the changes they keep doing over the years and the constant fourth quarter issues, I can't get behind them to invest money anymore. I can't do it. I don't trust them enough. I could see it's something happening and they're doing something even more stupid than the stupid things they do all the time that sink it, in public eye, or another company comes along and figures a way to undercut eBay and then buy eBay. That's my thinking on it. Decor and More, how are you doing? Ronnie Halfacre Tellerman, how are you doing? I got a shipping label. It was wrong. I canceled it. Corrected the info and rebought the new shipping label. It's been over a week and haven't gotten my money back for the canceled label. Canceled labels take a little longer to get your money back from what I've seen, because I've had to cancel one or two when it messed up or something. I don't remember the whole story, but I've had to cancel one or two. I want to say last time it took like 7 or 8 days. It has to be so many days after the label wasn't used and the label is voided or something. I know it's a time frame on those, so I would be a little patient with those. I think part of it has to do with it processing through the post office. So I'm not giving eBay a pass on that one, but it does take a little longer because of dealing with something like that. They would have to be verified that the label wasn't going to be used. They could refund you, and you might be able to sneak the label in, is I think what their thinking is on it. So I think it has to wait till it's totally a dead label, I think. Joel Dodson, your listings also get shadow banned for 12 hours plus if you contact customer access. I've heard that too, and I got to wonder on stuff like that too, because when you complain, it does seem like, your sales are fine, you complain, and then there's a drop. Sometimes I think they penalize people who do videos, in all honesty, opinion, but it's very ironic when you do a video like this that, the next day or that day your stuff crashes and stuff. So I wouldn't put it past them anymore. Kathy, same thing. She's had the solds being relisted. Lee Hayes 1. My listings have been adding that I ship to China and Mexico. You have to go back in and change those, even though you haven't done it. Yep, definitely so. I don't trust them with the shipping or anything. Oh, the other thing that happened today, I forgot, talking about shipping, it wouldn't let me send first class out. I didn't have a first class option on a whole bunch of my listings. The same when I was trying to combine them too. It took forever for me to reload that page like 10 times to finally get him to show up. IdeaPad, Facebook is rotten. I'll agree with you. I hate social media in general. YouTube, I like watching videos sometimes, but I never get to do it. I don't mind doing the videos, but I think it's more educational. Facebook is basically a cesspool. Yeah, I don't share my listings on Facebook at all these days. I don't. Your family and friends end up getting, they'd be pushed them out, and then if they see too much, they might. I don't want to see notices. I'm not a big fan of Facebook at all. I'm almost never on there. I was on there today only to send eBay something, and last time I was on there was maybe when I post a video or something. But I hardly ever go on there. I despise Facebook these days. Where are we at up here? Here's Craig. eBay's AI should be able to fill in item specifics for me. That's a funny thing you say that. There's actually, my wife saw some, she was listening some late last night, and they were giving item specific recommendations so you could just click a button, or they were automatically filling them in if you didn't do a checkbox. You had to remove a checkbox, otherwise when you went into it, it automatically filled in item specifics. And it was a black and white artwork on something, and she put black and white, and it did the item specific. It was automatically going to fill in was color black. That was the item specific. Had nothing, no bearing on the item at all. It was a black and white item. So anyway, most of the time the recommendations are terrible. I fully say yes, they should be able to do it, but I don't think eBay's got it up here to do it, or the people running it won't let them do it, or don't want to spend the money in investing into it. I don't know. It's just retarded. Here's Harry S. eBay and ComC are the only places I can find trading cards because most of my stores closed or flippers take all the product. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. There's going to be some backlash when this is all done and, big business gets in here. They're going to start blaming resellers for why the big businesses are doing this. Like, it's coming down the line. You're going to see negative ads and stuff coming on the news more and more, which I've seen some recently. Somebody sent me a video today, honestly, of reselling and stuff. A really negative piece on resellers. And it all comes down to big business wants that money. So they're going to make us look like we're the bad guys, and then they're going to do the same thing, but make even more money and jack up the prices even farther. That's what's going to happen one of these days to, like, FBA and NOS and new stuff like that, households and stuff. That's what I foresee. Because they're already starting it. What, GM now? I had an article on GM is going to do their own used car straight from them now. And everybody's starting to jump into that game now. Just go through us now. Don't buy it from somewhere else. When they start to do this, they're going to zero those items. So they'll be the only ones selling used stuff. They can do that. You won't be able to use their name in the title. That's what's going to happen, I would see. Not to everything, but that's going to come one of these days because Wall Street and big business is so greedy. They don't want anybody else having even a sliver of the pie. I don't want that. Don't get me wrong, but never had issues on Prairie Grid. Yeah, is that even still around? I haven't even heard about it. That's the first time I've heard about that, and I don't know how long. There was somebody, and I can't remember the channel's name, that kept bugging me about doing a show or something, and he wanted to talk about that. And I'm like, I don't talk about stuff I don't use. And I looked at their traffic, and I said, no, I can't bring that up. It would have been even worse than Bonanza and stuff like that. It would have made Bonanza look like the best site in the world compared to that from what I've seen, because they had no advertising. It was just a very small, minuscule site. We are always saying bugs. Could it be a former PayPal employee working for eBay that's on the programming side? PayPal worked fine for us. I've never had the issues with PayPal. Never had any issues on Walmart. No, I've never had any issues on Walmart. Yeah, I don't have those issues. I've never had inventory disappear or anything on Walmart. I've never had a single issue that I can think of on Walmart, even ordering or selling or any of that stuff on the site. I can honestly say I've never seen one there personally. Maybe it depends on your category. I don't know, but round again, reseller Glenda. How are you doing? Good to have you here, Glenda. Grew up with a girl named Glenda when I was younger in my teens. She had a sister, Brenda and Glenda. eBay hung up on you today. That's sad. Duncan, hey Duncan, how are you doing? Yeah, eBay's not very good on how to handle customers. Duncan's eBay, there's a new glitch every week for me. I had 4 glitches, 5 glitches, 6 glitches just today. Different ones, all different. Here's Glenda. She put me on hold. I'm thinking now because she couldn't answer my question, but me on hold, then the phone went dead. Yeah, I could see that. They probably didn't know how to put it on hold and accidentally clicked hang up because that's how incompetent some of those people seem to be. Again, the first thing they always do is blame us for whatever's going on. That's what I see. We're going to call it. I didn't realize it was so long. Time's flown by today. Again, if you're enjoying the conversation, I got over 270 people in the house. I got 153 thumbs up. If you're enjoying the conversation, please slam that thumbs up. Show some love for the channel. It'd be great to get to 200 before the show ended. Hey, Winter Crow, how are you doing? Yeah, I hate ranting, honestly, Winter Crow. I love talking about the stuff that I do and what we collect and what we sell, and that's the fun stuff. This isn't any fun for me. People say, well, you just like ranting. I don't like ranting at all. This is not me. This is me when I'm frustrated with it. This isn't mad. This is frustration, and this is me getting pumped up to try and fix it where I don't have to deal with eBay anymore because of stuff like this. They want to lose over $1 million in my merchandise just on one store alone, probably $2.2 million if you count everything. That's fine. I can put that millions of dollars worth of my inventory somewhere else. I don't need eBay for if I lost eBay, I would still be fine. I'd just put the effort into somewhere else, and I could be on 5 different sites for the amount of time I'm spending on just eBay. So maybe it would even be better sometimes. I don't know, because it would force me to do it instead of waiting for them to be so bad that my sales are 25% of my overall revenue. Well, thank you. I'd like you to give me a thumbs up for the knowledge and help, but I get it. I'm frustrated, and that's the fact. That just shows that Wanda and everybody else out here is getting frustrated. If people aren't talking about this, other YouTubers, they're trying to be nicey. If I'm having these issues and the people that I talk to are having these issues, everybody's got to be having them. It's not just them picking on just who watches my channel. It doesn't work that way. Everybody I talk to off here who maybe isn't into YouTube has the same complaints day after day after day. Hang on, my feed just jumped. Hey, I just lost my feed. Ramblin' Man, I know the song. Bob Seger. And Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. I wished I knew where we were at. My feeds jumped so far. Trying to get back up. My feed disappeared, and now I can't find where I was at. Oh, no, I don't sell them on eBay, no. You can sell Playboys on there. They're telling you can, but they're things that are blocked Playboy technically violates it. So, stuff like a Playboy 2 you send in. Stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, you can still technically sell them, but I've heard people have theirs taken down because somebody complained that it was adult material, even though they list in the pinup section, even though they supposedly filed the policy. eBay's policies are so vague anywhere, they can take you down and just say it violated the policy, pretty much, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know where we're at in the feed. I'm going to end it in just a few minutes here, so if I missed you, I do apologize, but I can't go back up so far. Hang on, where are we at? Yeah, it won't even let me go up any farther. It's got me locked on my feed. Jiminy, Marty, it's not. They're saying Marty's saying that eBay isn't even in the first 100 of shopping apps in Google Play, which would be terrible if that's the case. Yeah. Yeah, Dave's saying as long as there's no nudity on the cover, but there's nude images all over the place on eBay. And they aren't being taken down, even when you complain about them. Postcards. There's god-awful amount of nudity in postcards, full frontal with sexual acts, basically, on there, and they don't do anything about it. It just depends on who you are, it seems, some days, but I've seen nudity still on eBay. I see more now, just like I would suggest would have happened now that they removed the adult section, because so many more people are trying to sneak it on because they can't list it in the walled-off section. When they had the adult section, there's no way on earth you could honestly see it unless you went there, you logged in with a separate login, you verified your age just to get in to see those listings. Otherwise, you couldn't see them. So those listings never showed up on regular eBay. Now, all the people that were trying to list there are listing whatever they can sneak onto the regular eBay. And that's what's going to happen when you eliminate a walled-off site that no one else can see unless they want to see it, and then force them to list it on the normal site. It's ridiculous, but I've had people have Playboys taken down personally, so I don't mess with them on eBay. My good money goes somewhere else now. There's many other places that sell that kind of stuff. Adult material, there's still sites and still places you can deal with, but we're going to let it go there. I know there's a ton of feedback I didn't get to. I do honestly and sincerely apologize. I know I ranted probably a little too much. Ramble On, yes, that is the case. I used to love that. I still love it. Led Zeppelin song, Ramble On. Anyway, I used to do Get the Lead Out here at 6 o'clock, I think Monday through Friday. They'd play 2 or 3 Led Zeppelin songs on 104.9 or 104. I don't even know what it is. It's on a button on my thing in the car. But anyway, I do appreciate it. I'm just trying to see one more, but I couldn't quite see it very well. Well, somebody here said it wasn't eBay, isn't on the first page. Let me pop back over here. I do apologize for ranting a little bit much here, but it's getting old. I don't know what else to do other than seek an exit strategy one way or the other before it gets crashy and there's just nothing else. If they're going to hide you or stop you from being able to send offers to watchers, and that's where most of my revenue comes from, it won't take long for my revenue to be non-feasible for me to stay there, and I'll just pull out millions of dollars worth of merchandise and put them somewhere else. You know, it's not going to kill me, but I like the platform other than the people running it and their glitches. I like the atmosphere and the style of it, but they just don't know how to run it. They're just terrible at it. Terrible, 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 terrible. I'll let everybody go. I do appreciate everybody coming on. Looks like we're one away from 200 thumbs up again. If you're enjoying it, please slam that thumbs up button here. That's how I feel. This is really my frustrations with eBay here and the constant issues. I figured the title says it all. It's really old at this point. And there's nothing else to say about it other than if they don't fix it, they're going to keep losing people left and right. The new $600 reporting limits and all that stuff is going to stop some people from doing it as well. Other things coming down the line. eBay did change the day all your stuff is going to be billed on the 1st and all that. I don't mind. That's just, who cares about that? That's just routine BS. It's fix the darn site. Fix the darn site. But anyway, I'm going to let everybody go. I do appreciate everybody coming on today. Hopefully you're having some good sales. Hopefully you're not flooded with glitches like this. Hopefully they'll fix the ones that they have. But anyway, I'll let y'all go. I hope you have a good night. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.